topic for today is writing equations of lines. So let's start it off by reminding ourselves that a linear equation has a graph that looks like a line. And we've said it several times, but remember, you guys, the word line is in the word linear, so that's pretty easy to remember. Also remind ourselves about slope-intercept form, which we have looked at a lot the past few lessons, and that's just y equals mx plus b. You need two things, and we're about to write that on here, to be able to write slope-intercept form. And you guys, this is why they name it slope-intercept form, because m is the slope, you need that, and b is the y-intercept, you need that. So hence the name, I need those two things, the slope and the y-intercept, to be able to write y equals mx plus b, the equation of a line. Now, let's fill those blanks in. It's exactly what I just said. To be able to write an equation, you need m, the slope of the line, and you need where it crosses the y-axis, which is your y-intercept, your b value. Okay, so that's like the big thing for today. To be able to write the equation of a line, I need those two things. Realize that the letters that remain variables, so like we're going to plug a number in for m, we're going to plug a number in for b. We've seen that. But x and y remain in the equation. Okay, you guys are used to seeing that. Y equals 2x plus 5, something like that. X and y stay variables. So the big idea for today, and none of this so far is new, but realize that x and y, they stay in your equation because these variables, they represent 1 point on the line. Big idea. Okay, I know that an ordered pair is the coordinates like x comma y. Okay, so they're the x and y that go together that represent a point on your line. So anytime that you know a point on the line, realize that you have specific x and y values, which can help you figure out the two things that you need to write an equation, which are m and b. Okay, so this is kind of like the new spin on y equals mx plus b for today. They're going to give you maybe a point that lies on your line, your linear equation, and realize if they do that, that's just an x and y value that could be plugged into x and y into your slope-intercept form. Okay, so the whole goal today, and they're going to give you like one of probably 4 situations. They're going to give you information about the line, and they're going to just say, I want you to write the equation in mx plus b. So again, I need those two things. So here's some general steps to follow regardless of what they give you. You need to figure out the slope first. Okay, if they don't tell you the slope, find it. So I'm going to jot down the formula in here. Remember the formula for finding slope that we learned a couple lessons ago? You can use this y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so that might be helpful. The second step is to find the y-intercept. Okay, so your two things you need, find the slope first, then the y-intercept, using any given point, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Once you've got m and b, you can go ahead and write your equation. So I'm going to do 4 examples, and the goal is always the same. I want to write an equation, but what they give me in each situation is going to change. So the first situation, they're going to give me 2 points that lie on the line. You guys realize, sure, you could plot those 2 points, connect them. You could graph the line and try to work out the slope and the y-intercept from there, but you don't always need to do that. It's probably easier to like use your formula and just some algebra skills to figure it out. So step 1, I need to find the slope. They give me 2 points, so I'm going to use this formula right here. Remember that ordered pairs are x and y, and since there's 2, we call the first one x1, y1, the second one x2, y2. So I'm going to use my formula here. So on top, I'm going to do y2 minus y1. So that would be 2 minus 6. On bottom, x2 minus x1, that would be 3 minus 1. So that would give me 2 minus 6 is negative 4 over 2. Negative 4 divided by 2 is just negative 2. Okay, so I found the slope, negative 2. All right, now I just need b, and I can put it all together. Here's kind of where the new part comes in. And really, this is like the only new idea for the day, essentially. Being able to find the y-intercept using what they gave me, which was points on the line. All right, so let's think about it here. I got to use my equation, y equals mx plus b. Now, I know what m is. I just found it. It's -2. I also, you guys, have x's and y's because they gave me a point on the line. They gave me 2 points on the line. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick 1 point. It literally makes no difference which one you use. I'm going to pick 3, 2, maybe just because it's smaller numbers. Literally does not matter. So 3 is the x, 2 is the y. I'm going to plug these numbers in. So here's what I'm going to do. The y value of my point is 2. I know that m is -2 because I just found that. And the x value of the point that I'm using is 3. I do not know b, so keep that as b in your equation here. Now you just have to work this out to solve for b. So multiply here, that'd just be -6 plus b. Then I'm going to add the 6, run out of room. 2 plus 6, b would just equal 8. Okay, so this was the new part. I plugged in m, I plugged in an x and a y, and then I just worked backwards to solve for b. Now I can put it together to write my slope-intercept form. So throw x and y back in there, and I'm going to say y equals -2x plus 8. That would be the equation of this line. Okay, 3 more situations, but you guys, essentially it's all the exact same thing. So this time I want to write the equation for the line, and they give me a table. So they give me 4 different points on the line. Now, you only need 2 points to be able to find the slope, which is my first step. That's what I want to do first. And like I said, they gave me 4. So they gave me each row would be like a point on the line, an ordered pair. I only need 2. So I don't know, maybe I'll just scribble out the bottom 2 here, and I'll just focus on the first 2 rows that they gave me. So let's see, how many points do you need to write the equation of the line? Well, to do that, that's what I did in step 2 back here, and I only used 1 point to do that. But essentially, I'm just going to focus on 2 points at first, because I know I need to find the slope first. So let's do that. So let's find the slope over here. Remind yourself of your formula. Okay, or you guys, since it's already in table form, here's what I'm going to do. Remember a few lessons ago when we did rate of change and slope from a table like this, and I just figured out how is the y changing. So let's see, right here they would be adding to go from -5 to 4, they'd be adding 9. And over here to go from -12 to -6, I'd be adding 6. So I do the change in y over the change in x, which would be just 9 over 6. You could list these out as ordered pairs and use your formula, but you'd get the same thing. So I'm going to reduce this. Let's see, I can divide both of those by 3. So that would give me 3 over 2. Okay, so there's my slope. I could start my equation. I like to do that sometimes just so I don't forget what I'm really trying to do here. I just need to figure out the b value that goes at the end. So to do that, let's see, here's what I'm going to do over here to find b, which it's not outlined as nice on this example. They broke it down step by step for example 1. So you kind of just have to follow your steps by turning back if you need to. But to find b, so focus on your formula, y equals mx plus b. I know what m is. It's 3/2. I just found that. I need to use one of my points, and I only need 1. So maybe let's just do, and it really doesn't matter, maybe I'll just use -6, 4. Okay, so -6 is the x, 4 is the y. I'm going to plug those 2 numbers in for x and y. and leave b because I do not know b. I just have to solve this for b. Now, you should be able to multiply that fraction, but just as a reminder, you do have the fraction button, the ABC. So 3/2 times -6 is just -9. And then I would just add the 9 over to solve for b. So that would be 4 plus 9. B would be 13. Hopefully you had a little bit more room than I did. So I already had m. Now I have b. I can write it all together, and there's my answer. There's my equation. So that's the equation of the line that contains all of those points from that table. Fun stuff, I know. All right, example 3. I'm still trying to do the same thing. I'm trying to write the equation of this line. Now realize we've done this before. I've given you pictures of lines before, and I've asked you to write it into mx plus b. Now the only difference, and there is a difference here, the difference is I can't tell what the y-intercept is. Because it's not crossing on my picture here. Like, yeah, I could extend it and I could extend the line, but I would be estimating. So I can't do that. Obviously, I can work it out by counting the slope, but I can also just use the method that I've been doing on the first 2 examples. So here's what I'm going to do. It says to write 2 points that are found on the line. So I'm going to choose 2 nice points. We've done this before. You're looking for places where it crosses like right in the corner of a box. So I see one like right here, and I see one right here. Okay, so I found 2 nice points. Let's go ahead and list those here. This would be the ordered pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, -2. -6, -2, sorry. Left 6, down 2. And then this is the ordered pair. Had to count it. -5, -5 it looks like. Okay, so I've got my 2 points, and again, I just need the slope and I need the y-intercept. The slope should not be hard because I can just count it. So going from left to right, let's see, I go down 1, 2, 3, and right 1. So the slope is just -3 over 1 or -3. Okay, that should not be bad. And I can start my answer here. I know m is -3. I just need to figure out the y-intercept, which again goes way off the graph. So I'm going to use the method that I did up here. I'm going to go to mx plus b. I'm going to use that formula. I know m is -3. And you guys, I have ordered pairs. I have x's and y's. So maybe let me just pick this one, -6, -2. -6 is the x, and -2 is the y. And let's plug those 2 values into mx plus b. Keep b in there because that's what I'm trying to figure out. So now I just need to solve this. -3 times -6 is +18. And then if I subtract the 18 over, and this makes sense, I know that they would cross like somewhere down here, so it's got to be a big negative number, and it is. It's -20. So that would be my y-intercept, and then I could write it all together. Yay, last one. All right, so let's see. We've seen situations like this before. Goal's still the same. It says that after 5 months, so 5 months, Sam has 53 video games. Realize you can make an ordered pair out of that. 5 months, 53 video games. I could also organize this into a table. Time is always independent, so in this case, let's see, that's the months and games. And then after 11 months, he has 95 video games. Okay, you need 2 points to calculate the slope, so that's what I want to do first to write the equation. I'm assuming he collects the same number of video games per month, so like it's constant here. That means it's a line. They do ask me another question, how many video games will Sam have after 24 months? I'll have to figure that out after I have the equation. So I know I need the slope and I need the y-intercept. You guys, if you have it nicely in a table, I mean, just go ahead and calculate the slope doing what we did with rate of change stuff, if you need to work backwards to figure out how you're changing here, just subtract them. So that would be adding 42, and then obviously over here I'd add 6. So for M, it'd be change in Y over change in X, which that's just 7. And that just means he collects 7 games per month. So I'm going to go ahead and get my equation going here. It'd be 7x plus, I don't know what the y-intercept is, but I can find it by using slope-intercept form. So we know that M is 7. Let's just take one of these ordered pairs, and maybe I'm just going to pick the smaller one. Easier numbers to work with. The x is 5 and the y is 53. I don't know b. I got to figure that out. So 35. And then I'd subtract 35 over, and I'd have what, 18? So the b value is 18, so I can put this all together. So this represents how many video games Sam has after so many months. X is your months. Now they're saying, well, how many games would Sam have after 24 months? This is the X. X was the months. So you guys, you're just taking 24 and you're going to plug it in for X. So I can just do that on my calculator. He collects 7 games per month, and he started with 18. That's what that means. So, whoa, he would have 186. Quite a lot.